Okay, so Bob here. Going through all this old carburetor rebuild video stuff. I'm going to go ahead and upload this video, but I want to do a preface, however you want to say it, to this video. I don't know what happened. For some reason, let's see if I can do this screen here. The stuff that I did not show up. It did not get on here. So I'm kind of trying to figure out, I must have lost it, or maybe I recorded it somewhere else and I just don't have a record of it. But anyways, I didn't do where I actually have finished putting it all back together. This is referring to the carburetor, the Holley 650. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do this video as it stands from the start to tearing it down, and all the way up to this point, I think is when I got it back from the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to try to do another video on the ultrasonic cleaner, but I just wanted to cover this part of this. I'm not much for editing film, you know, especially this kind of stuff, so I'm hoping this will turn out okay. Just remember, the end of this video that you're going to see is, I think the last part is when I was still taking it apart or checking out how it cleaned after the ultrasonic cleaner. And I don't remember if I've already uploaded having put this all back together, and it's in my step van. Actually, I don't have the carburetor installed in the step van yet. It is rebuilt and is sitting on a stand ready to go into the step van, but I had surgery on my hand right there, and so I've not been able to install this rebuilt carburetor, but it is rebuilt. It's ready to go. Everything's set to install. The last thing I have to do, I did like a visual float bowl check, you know, make sure my float's not too high, but I'll have to check that when I put it on the vehicle. So I just wanted to I'm going to put this clip here that you're seeing in front of this video. And so what you're going to see is after I do everything. Anyway, so as I scroll out, I'm using CapCut software. Not real sure if it's my favorite software. iTunes has been kind of iffy. So anyway, so I've got a whole lot on here. There's 10, 20, about 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes, 40 minutes of this stuff. It's kind of boring, really, if you're not into carburetors. The reason I recorded this isn't just to show on YouTube. It's if I have to go back and figure out where did this part go, like there's one point where a part falls out and I kind of, when I'm putting it back together, I had to refer back to my own videos, but I never did upload them yet. I had to get onto my GoPro or my iPhone or my body cam, and I had to double check where that part fell or where it came from. So anyways, so I kind of do a lot of my videos for myself too. I'm 54, you know, and my mind is still sharp, but it depends on the level of caffeine on whether I'm going to remember anything. So, and I talk when I should be paying attention. So it'd be neat to get myself to where I'm not talking and I'm just doing my stuff, and then I can do a voiceover later. That's kind of what it would be better to do, I imagine, so I can kind of stay on focus and on target. But for what I'm getting ready to show you now, I just wanted to kind of do a highlight of why you're not going to see when I put the carburetor back together, the different parts. I don't even remember how far I got on this part. I don't know if there's a way to look at this. And I think it kind of ends right here. So yeah, I don't think I can have it back together. Anyways, so, but this is what you're going to see. And then if I find the other pieces, I'll try to add them in later. But I think I've already uploaded that part. And maybe I just didn't find this part. I don't know what I was doing. I got a lot of stuff going on. So anyways, thanks for watching. And don't forget to read the description. I'll try to add stuff. If I have to, I can put a link when I find the other part of this, and I'll just unlist it or list it, but then leave a link in the description of this video so you can see the finished part if I can find it. But anyways, thanks for watching. All right, bye-bye. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and tear this carburetor down. We're rebuilding it. I'm going to run it through the ultrasonic cleaner. I am using Berryman's formula, or no, excuse me, not Berryman's formula. That's the one I wanted to use, but I decided not to because I believe it's a little bit more stronger than Seafoam, and so I'm going to go ahead and use Seafoam. And we're going to put it in Ziploc bags, the parts that I can fit into this. I got two different bags. I have a ultrasonic cleaner. I think it's a Vivor or Vivo. I'll post that. Got my step van. Let's just go ahead and tear this apart. So you can kind of see how it looks now. We will get a good idea of how it cleans. And I have no doubt it'll do a good job. Seafoam will. By the way, let's look at this. So here's your accelerator pump. There's just enough gap in here. You can hear that. And as you adjust your idle, you lose some of that gap. So, and then it starts pushing in on that. So I got to remember to set that. Right now there's quite a bit of movement in there, but I'll set that. I think they usually say about 20 thousandths. You don't want it pushing down on your accelerator pump. I'm just looking. This is the carburetor I rebuilt on, or I bought on eBay, and I wanted to go ahead and rebuild it. So before I put it in my vehicle, this is the exact same carburetor I have in my step van currently. It is a 4160 Holley 80457-2 1398 serial number. A 4160, I think, is usually what they go off of. And so let's get this off the stand so we can start popping it apart. I don't really need a stand for what I'm getting ready to do. When I rebuild it, I'll reuse that stand. So let's get it off this. It's an old adapter plate I decided to use. So we're gonna go ahead and just take this apart real quick. Probably ought to wear gloves just because it feels like this already has some gunk in it. Let me see, what did I do with my gloves? I don't think I have any decent gloves available. I think I do. They're somewhere in here. My step van is a mess. This is just quick. We're gonna go through it partly so I know what was in it and I can record what I'm seeing. And so we'll start by taking off the bowls. I think should have the right thing here. Got the battery. I mean, you can use screwdrivers, bed drivers, all that stuff. I'm going to use electric, and we're just taking it apart, so it's not like we're going to worry about torquing anything at this point. So bear with me. I'm just going to go crisscross. You probably can't see it. I'm going to move this light a little bit closer over here to see if you get a better angle, better lighting on it. So there are washers. You should be able to pop this loose. And you know, it's going to be kind of tight because it's stuck on this tube right here. Let me get these out of here all the way. There are washers in here that seal these bolts. You don't want to forget those. There's 4 of them. That's what holds on your, this will be the secondary side float bowl. Let me see here. And it's probably not ever been apart. From the looks of it, it doesn't feel like it has, so pull that out. Alright, so let me get some tap on this. I don't want to. There we go. Yuck, look how yucky that looks on the inside there. Alright, so here's where your dimension was for your needle float. Let me get another flashlight so we can actually see in here better. So you can kind of see more. Let me see what I'm looking at here. So that's dusty. That is gunky, man. Alright, so this is going to be a good thing. So we're going to tear it all the way down. Here's your plates. It should be, you got clutch bits for that. I'll get to that here in a second. We'll get this side off. Now I want to reiterate, I am not a carburetor expert. I've rebuilt a few. Man, look how much different that is on the float side. That thing was probably flooding. They probably didn't even realize it was flooding. Ideally, you would pull your, that's your level, what do you call it, level screw. You'll pull that, and that will be what you, let's do this. This will be what you do to see how full it gets. And so that needle valve in there, it'll fill through here, and once it pumps through here, it will, there's a part right here that fills that, and that, yeah, that was probably overfilling that, probably flooding it too. Yep, pretty bad. Yeah, this thing's not in great shape. Alright, as far as, you know, I was never going to be able to put it on the vehicle and just throw it on there. At least they got the tubes right on. Let me reset this. I'm trying to use a magnet. I'm sorry if it's moving around too much. Let me see here. Yeah. This is my GoPro. So sometimes you'll see people will wrap Teflon on these. This has 2 O-rings on the one end, 1 on the other. You probably should only have 1 O-ring. But we're going to go on ahead and there's one was on this end. This is the primary side. So we'll go ahead and keep taking things apart. I'm going to go ahead and throw some of these items into this Ziploc bag here. Now the Berrymans, I understand, will eat seals and gaskets if you leave it soaking in there long enough. So I'm kind of not too worried about that part because I'm using seafoam. Both of them you can run through and they're good for, what do you say, they're both excellent for soaking. I don't like using channel locks on something like this, but I'm not gonna, shouldn't be that tight. Yep, there we go. As long as you don't chew it up. So there's gasket, there's strainer in there that you can pop out. So we'll put all that together in here. And there's that. And then the adjustment screw here. Alright, so let's see if we can undo this. This is the primary side. I know because we got the accelerator pump right there. This piece should slide out. Let me see here. There's an E-keeper on here, an E-ring. Let me see if I can. I can get that string out of there anyways. I need that right now. Yeah, okay. It's like any standard E-clip. And that slides out. There's that. Gunky. Okay. Keep moving on here. We'll pour this out. What I'm going to do is put it in here. And I can interchange in between. Been waiting to do this for quite a while. Like I said, I'm going to use here's your auxiliary pump. Now I'm not a carburetor rebuilder guy. I'm just taking it apart. This should slide out of there, but I don't know if I'm going to try to force that or not. I think I'll leave it that in just for now. There's no point in getting it out. This diaphragm can pop out of here. Just pops right out just like that, and that's done. So I'll keep these little washers, shouldn't lose them. The new kit will have them. The kit I bought was on eBay. I bought from these people before. They're a good outfit. I think I've already Walker products. They kind of hand select certain things, so you already got your floats, you know, your float valves and all that stuff. I recommend the blue gaskets. They're better than the rest of them. Yeah, we got some pretty gunky stuff in here. Yeah, man. There's jets. We will get those out. Let me get a regular screwdriver. Actually, I come over here. I don't know why I'm watering over there. So, you want to be careful. I will blow all this stuff out before I actually put it in the washer. Some of these would have a number on them, so you can check them. Looks like I see a 3 on it. 13, maybe J3 or 13, 73, something like that. You can have the flashlight. (7-3). That's it. If you can see very well. And there's no reason to think the other one wouldn't be the same. Yeah, I think that should pop out right there. Not popping out. Get his old gasket off. Surprisingly, it's gaskets. So now there's two ways I look at this. Sometimes you can probably have to take all this stuff apart too. Sometimes when you take these apart, you know, and you notice, it's probably more of an ethanol fuel that was in here, not the standard, the old style gas. And I say that because ethanol doesn't leave the varnish residue, where the other style, the old style, does. That's from what my experience is. Get some of this stuff out of here. I got a couple of clutch bits right there. Let's see if I can find them. Clutch bit. Where are you? There's one. This should be the right size, hopefully. Good. Alright. When I say clutch bit, GM used a lot of these clutch bits. Has looks like that. Perfect. Okay. Try not to scratch anything when you're doing this. Separator plates. See here. If I can get under that. Make it soaked with it until it decides to loosen itself up. Yeah. Let me see if I got a scraper down here. Better to do this with something that's brass, which I don't have right now. There we go. So you don't want anything that's going to be harder to this. I'll just scuff it out. But this actually has a pretty straight blade. May have to finish it a little bit. Okay, so that's that. Let's take this bottom off here. Alrighty then. So ammonia, or not ammonia, but pine sol, supposed to be one that most people use. This kind of stuff, I don't know if I want to use that, because I think there's other concerns with it, where it can, it shouldn't be any issue with what I'm doing. I don't know. After looking and reading all the different things, it shows that you don't want to use, it says on there don't use it with aluminum, but you see people do it, and at least, you know, I wouldn't do it 100% concentrate. Maybe a half or less than 0.5%, you know, like 50% or 25%. But I went ahead and just bought the seafoam. I know it's safe on all the parts of the carburetor, so I'm not going to worry about it. This is for your choke. Take this wire off, leave this off here. And I'm not doing a rebuild video. This is just more of a, how well does this thing clean? Anyway, so take off the parts off here. I got a piece back there. Okay, put that in there. Ooh. Little gunky in there. Yeah, a little nasty. Hopefully my camera will last. It was on about 20% and I hooked up a battery pack to it, so hopefully it'll keep running. Yeah, come on. I don't want to. That's one problem with gloves. Alright, so And you got this stuff here. You got to be aware or what goes where. Probably should have raised that all the way up to pop that out. Yep. I'm gonna have to finagle this around a little bit. You can see this come off of this. Second here, I'm trying to bounce that. Alright, so that nut goes on that piece right there. And one nut goes within the choke house. And you got to be very careful how you come. And all this stuff comes apart too, because it can be kind of a nightmare. So there's a seal, like a seal and a washer. It was on the outside of that. And see that come out. So it won't come out that way. Oh, it's nothing. It's alright. And we're just gonna throw it in there. Gonna get clean. This stuff here. Just keep taking stuff off. Some of the stuff. These those. Just keep her off. There's a little clip goes on that. And sometimes you gotta fight this stuff. No, I don't know if I want to go all the way through that. Some of the stuff doesn't even really matter for what I'm doing here because it's loose enough. Get my Phillips. The seafoam will penetrate wherever I don't take it apart, so I'm not too worried. Wherever there's a seal, I need to make sure I'm doing something with that. Some of these screws are longer than the others. I do have exploded views, which, you know, some of these may be a little bit different than others, so there's a screw here. So as always is that, you gotta be careful. And take that E-clip off. Itty bitty little E-clip. There we go. I mean, itty bitty. Look how small that thing is. You never know what it went to. That's what's crazy. We'll go ahead and take this apart real quick. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that was done. Fuel had been sitting there. Phew. And you got these little ports in here. We'll have to blow all this stuff out before and after because you want to make sure stuff gets everywhere. There's this little rubber seal right there. Even the seals I'm going to throw in the bath. So when I'm done, I'll be like, where'd that go? And you don't want to forget these seats. You definitely don't want to forget those. Your main air fuel mixture seat, and I gotta get the rest of the components out of the inside of it, so probably should have found a smaller blade. I need to do that. Let me use this just to get this out of here. There is a little rubber, leather, or plastic behind these. They seal up against. I guess it's kind of a, they call it the curse, where sometimes they leak like a sieve, and you don't want to over tighten because it will cause them to have problems too. So before we put it back together, we will double check everything. There's part of a seal. I think they call this like a reverse seal. See how thick that is? Where it seals on the back side instead of the front side of it. If that makes sense. On this style for the Holleys. Anyways. Yeah, that's kind of corroded in there. We'll get that out here in a minute. I have something right down here I need to get out. Too big. I'll chew that up. There you go. And really need to do the next size up. I think this actually comes with my kit. That is itty bitty little slip there. And we will take this off. Because I think if anything comes apart, then that's good. Even if I gotta figure out where it goes, I'll figure it out later. See, that comes off there. This should come off. Pop that off. Okay. And those could come out if you undid the screws. Actually, it's in really good shape. So let me see here. One of the things they look at is this transom. Leave it to this side here. Let's see. Transom slot. So let me get it like. There's a little spot right here. And you want it towards almost a perfect square, not a rectangle. A piece of plastic in my mouth. And so you need it right about there and set it all the way up like this. That's where it's almost perfect air fuel. Everything feels tight. I don't feel like there's any slop. There's no seal leak right there. I don't know if I really feel a need to take all the rest of this apart. It seems like it's, I think the seafoam will penetrate all that. You really don't want to take it apart if you don't have to. That's my personal opinion. Look at that screw up there though. I'm hoping my camera's catching everything. So it's like, it's not necessary to take all this apart. It wouldn't hurt to do it, but it's not necessary for what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't remember. That's it. It's pop out or no? Okay. Alright, so I don't know. I'm not gonna. There's no gap. There's no play. I don't see any point taking that all apart on that. So that's done. Let's get this gasket off here. I don't like this. But it seems like it's new enough. And it doesn't have any jagged edges, and you can run a file on the bottom just to get rid of anything. You'd know because you start seeing a shiny spot where it was rubbing in, so that's good. I need to figure out how to get this out. I can't remember if it just pops out. I don't see a spot in here. Oh, here. Take that. That goes in there. Just drop that screw. In there. The screw that went with that jet was this. Not jet, but it's the I don't know what it's called. It's a squirter. It goes on top there. So that's that. And there's a screw. Can't get it washed out. Pretty crappy. This whole thing should pop off. Let me get this off. Here's where you gotta be careful. Should pop off. I don't want to bang on it too hard. Let me get something a little knot. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. I think it's kind of loose. There you go. I'll just throw that in there. Huh. Big washer right there. There you go. See how it's got kind of a diagonal profile. Alright, so that's ready. I'll try to blow these things out before I put it back together. Okay, get on like that. Can't say enough about how you should use a brass. I just don't have one. If you have time to plan it, get the brass. So the brass spatula, or not spatula, but scraper. I don't know if I really need to mess with the rest of this stuff. It all looks like it's in good shape. That's got some green tint to it. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, there's a seat down there. Let me get it out. We have to go to the bigger screwdriver. Yeah, I may soak it first. See if that doesn't loosen it up. So that's going in its own bag. Alright. Alright. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill these up. Berryman's, I'm going to drop them in there and try to squeeze the air out and let it sit in the hot water. Let it run. And I'll take that out and then I'll put that in. This piece here. And then I'll do these pieces here. Just transfer the cleaner. And then I'll rinse them all off. I have carb cleaner. So, okay, I'll be right back. And of course, it wouldn't be me without a mess. She's doing it. You can already see bubbles kind of coming up in there. I've rotated around a little bit. Probably been better to get a deeper style that's not as wide but taller. I put it in for 50 degrees Celsius. It's currently 53 because I filled it with hot water. 50 degrees Celsius, I believe, is about 120 Fahrenheit. I had to drain a little water off, so. And of course, it wouldn't be me if I didn't make a mess. So. Kind of irritating noise. You kind of, you know, if you filling up those Ziploc bags, what that does is it transfers the ultrasonic frequency through it, so it's like it makes it solid. You know, as long as you know it's solid filled, there's an air gap at the top of those bags, which is fine because they're gonna kind of gas out anyways a little bit. But the throttle body itself, the carburetor body, is completely submerged in the seafoam that's in the Ziploc bag. I actually did 2 Ziploc bags because one of them started leaking, so then I put it inside the other one. I just want to keep it out of my bath. And so I go for 30 minutes. So we'll see what happens. We'll look at it, and then I'm going to probably rotate it and then flip it around upside down the other way. See what it does. Alright, I'm back. Come out pretty nice. Let me move this light over here so we can get it better. Nice and shiny, actually. Now, truth be told, I do need to clean it. I need to blow them out, all the ports and stuff. Everything's good like it's supposed to be. Feels nice. You know, the thing with that seafoam is it does kind of lubricate as it works as a solvent, so that's kind of a good thing. Yeah, I'm happy about this. It actually did a good job. And so here's the main body. It's shiny. Looks really nice. And I'll try to do a before and after comparison. I still need to kind of, I don't want to scotch brite it too much, but I just want to make sure it's all smooth. I even thought about using like the fine side of a what do you call it, a sharpening block, just kind of rough out any edges. But yeah, everything looks good. I mean, the bowls, they look shiny. You know, didn't leave. You know, the thing with the sea foams, it doesn't do anything to the finish. it kind of left like an oily film, and I did wipe these down. That's the inside. I don't know if you can see very well. You remember what it looked like beforehand, before I did it. I did wipe these down. It still has a little crud in here, which I'm going to blow out, and we'll get that out. I did 30 minutes one way, and then I flipped them and did 30 minutes the other way. Some of the stuff you just kind of got to go through. I don't know. Berryman's, I think, is a better, stronger product. I didn't really feel like I need to go that strong. And I do know that there are some, let me see if I can hold the light up on this. There is some restrictions in some of these ports, you know, so you need to use like an air compressor to blow these out. So I will do that on these. Let me wipe my finger off. I just touched some gunk. So for what I was doing, this is more than adequate. How do you say it? Adequate. And I do need to blow out some of these pores. I got a compressed air thing I'll do. I just wanted to do a quick update on this, where it's at. You really got to make sure these are all blown out before you put everything back together. Otherwise, you just pretty much wasted some of your time. This still has some O-ring material. I clean all these out. But, you know, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, it didn't matter if you use Berryman's or Seafoam. Some of the stuff probably you'd still have to clean it out. I've seen some people use Seafoam and it come out excellent. And I've seen people use Berryman's that come out excellent. But I'm just saying that it may not have mattered in this particular application. Some things just will be hard to get out if it's been sitting there for 20 years, 30 years, whatever it's been. So anyways, you just gotta make sure you clean them all out. You know, run little, I got little pipe tubing brushes, you know, you can run down some of these ports. But all in all, I mean, it looks really good. There's a little keeper. I think my kit comes with new keepers, so I'll just set that there so I know it's there. One bowl come out spotless. The other one come out, still got some stuff in there. And it may be, the way I set it in there, may have been an air pocket. That's what I'm thinking, because everything else is mush. I saved the solution, and the bag leaked into the water. Here's the problem where you get into the chemical dips. You can put everything in a Ziploc bag, put it in a big thing of water, and everything, you know, transfers through, you know, the bag that's full of the chemical. But if that bag leaks into the water, you can't just drain that water down your sanitary drain. So, you know, follow your local, federal, whatever, state laws. I have a place where I work, my main job, that you can dispose of hazardous chemicals. They take solvents, oils, everything. Some of the stuff, you know, Seafoam would actually go in your oil. And you can dispose of oil at AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, and all those places that will take, you know, oil for recycling. So I don't know if, you know, since Seafoam can't go in your oil, that they may take it. But I think what I'm going to do is I don't really have to get rid of it. I'll just let the water kind of evaporate off, and then the oil residue. Then I'll probably just dilute that into some old oil, send that to an auto parts store. That's kind of my game plan, but you know, definitely you're responsible about how you dispose of this stuff. The rest of this is just I'm wiping it down. It all looks good to me. It's kind of a castings, interesting. It almost kind of, it looks like this plate is damaged, like maybe it dropped or something. I don't see it actually going through. I'll have to check it, see if it seals. I think it's just part of the plating. Maybe it's like that. Sometimes castings have a weird texture to them too. I think a meter and plate's alright though. That's let me see here. I think that's alright. It doesn't look like it's part of that. I don't think it is actually going through it. I will have to double check. It doesn't look like it's. You can see the casting lines on the inside, but it doesn't look like that's part of this. So it looks like it's in a different spot. So I think I'm okay. And you're actually just tightening it here and here. Shouldn't really do anything too complicated. I believe it's gonna go on one side or the other. Let me see here. But nevertheless, I think it goes on the carburetor itself. So no biggie. Anyways, yeah, I'll get it figured out. It goes on one side of this or the other. I believe it's like that. No. Anyways, there's screw holes. Shows you where it goes through. I'll just have to match it up. I think it's right here, something like this. Yeah, like that. There it is. And it could be this side, it could be the other side. I think it's this side here. Maybe not. Nope, it didn't. It is right there. Alright, so that's that. And then, of course, that's where your inlet is. That's block, so that would go on that side. So, anyways, it actually looks pretty good. Looks really good. You know, I don't know if you can see it in the light. The gleaming. It actually came out really nice. You should have the meeting plate on the other side. Leaves an oily residue, which is kind of nice because, you know, if you use like the pine sol or any kind of water mix, what may happen is you could wind up discoloring the aluminum, which really doesn't affect the quality of it, but because if you mix it with water, anything that has steel mixed in with aluminum, you get like a, I don't know if it would be the word galvanic corrosion, but steel and aluminum will interact with each other and can have problems, especially if it's acidic or caustic. You know, the pH can cause some kind of corrosion between them where they'll seize up. But you know, seafoam or Berryman's Chem Dip, I'm sure, is perfect for this kind of stuff, and I like the oily residue left. And I will have to clean that out. I'll probably go on ahead and put that back into the little can I have, which is just the seafoam. As the bag kind of gassed out, it was pushing the fluid out of the bag into the bath. There was a little bit of transfer of water into the bag, so it kind of got milky, but it didn't really affect the quality. It might have affected the quality a little bit. The better thing would be to have a smaller vibration or a ultrasonic cleaner, and then just put in the individual parts in smaller sections. I only needed enough to put in the carburetor. I put in this section by itself, and then this lower section by itself, and then all the miscellaneous components by themselves. And I just reused the solution, but it could have been I made it weaker by reusing the solution too. But the rest of it all looks good. It all come out really nice. I had a couple bolts. I'm sure the ones that look kind of corroded, I'm sure came from the side where you can see that crud, because that would have been a seal right there that would have went in there. Anyways, I just wanted to do a quick video on that, and I'm not going to do a big build video because I don't want to sit there and fool around with trying to get camera angles. I may just go ahead and start doing the sub-assembly components where I do the floats on each end, and I'll put the base on the main body, and then we'll start putting things together. Maybe I'll kind of show an update when I get so far, and then I'll go on ahead and that's kind of crowded. And then I'll go on ahead and do a little bit more updates on that, but I don't really want to get into a long-winded video. It's already, I think this is probably already going to be a 45-minute video. So, alright, I'll be back soon. Thanks.